Hi, and welcome to the world premiere on YouTube for Ruthie the Spoiler. Yes, this is not a spoiler alert. This is not alerting you to any spoilers that I might give away for a movie. No, I am the spoiler. I am going to tell everything I know about what happened in the movie, all the gory details. So if you feel like you can't deal with that, just turn off your computer right now. Turn off your computer, turn off your laptop, turn off your iPad, whatever it is you're watching me on. Just turn it off because I'm telling everything I know. And that is the point of the spoiler. I looked up the word spoiler on the online free dictionary, and they had a couple of things about what a spoiler is. And the fifth definition is the one that defines this show exactly, precisely. And it talks about any type of published work in which the plot for a book or a movie is given. So the spoiler, that's what I am the spoiler. This is no spoiler alert. I had read somewhere recently where there's a movement to eliminate the words spoiler alert from the American lexicon. Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. A spoiler alert. Well, if somebody's watching a review and they say there's a spoiler alert, chances are they're either gonna keep watching it or they may just not know about it. They'd rather not know. But I'm telling everything. So if you don't want to know the plot, if you don't want to know the twist, if you don't want to know what happened, if you don't want to know how it ended, then you gotta stop. You gotta stop right now. Just gotta let you know. So recently I saw Django Unchained, and that was going to be the first movie that I spoiled. But a friend of mine who really wants to see the movie and doesn't want me to tell the plot, he doesn't want me to do it, even though he's my manager. But so I suppose I could do another movie, and that is Jack Reacher. I went to see Jack Reacher starring Tom Cruise. Something odd happened when I went to see that movie. They had that the movie was sold out, completely sold out. I was there first thing on a Saturday morning, and it was sold out across the board. Just sold out. 10 a.m. show, the 1 something show, 5 something, and then the whatever. And it must have been about 4 or 5 shows for the day. And I thought, that's odd. That's really odd that the movie would be sold out all day. I mean, I don't think it's more popular than Django Unchained. So how can it be sold out? I don't think it's more popular than Les Mis, but how could it be sold out? So I said, okay. I went to the kiosk to get a ticket for it anyway. And the movie wasn't on the kiosk. So there is a way around that. I'm not going to say what I did, but I did get in to see the movie. And guess what? The theater wasn't even half full. Nope, not even half full. So I thought about it. I said, should I go to the manager and say, why do you have this movie it being displayed as sold out across the board all day long? But then I said, no, don't do that, because I might give away my secret. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna let it slide. But in watching the movie, I think I kind of understand why they're trying to make the public think that the movie is sold out, because it's about a guy who randomly goes to a spot and shoots 5 people. Yeah, he shoots 5 people. He was set up to they set him up to make it look like he did it from one on one hand, but on the other hand, he did do it, but he wasn't really himself when he did it, So when they bring him in for questioning, Tom Cruise is the one that he asked for. They had written out a confession and all, and he said that's all he wrote. Bring me Jack Reacher. And Jack Reacher is this cool ass ghost. You know, he done kicked ass all over the world, and he done been a spy, and you know, Navy SEAL ops, and you know, that kind of guy. And you know, Tom Cruise, he's always a really good ass kicker. So of course he kicked ass. He kicked major ass. And it was an interesting story. It had plot and it had subplot. Yes. There was no love interest expressed in the movie, which I was glad for, because I hate when somebody's got to fall in love with somebody and then the person's got to die. I mean, dying is okay, but I just don't like when a love interest is created. And to me, it's just, usually it's just gratuitous. It's like, so what? You got to get together and fuck. For what? So, that didn't happen. Although, it kind of, it was suggested, or it was kind of implied, or that it could happen, but it didn't. So that made me happy. So, like I said about Jack Reacher, the movie was about the guy who, you know, shoots 5 people randomly. Well, I should say it appears that he shot 5 people randomly, but really the intention was to only kill 1 person. But in order to cover up that particular killing, they had 4 more people shot. Yeah, that's what happened. So Jack Reacher comes onto the scene, and you know, he starts looking at the evidence, and then he knows almost from the beginning that something is wrong, but he doesn't let on that he knows, because one of the things that the killer did was he put a quarter in a parking meter to go up in the garage and do what he did, right? And there's a black detective. He's the guy that was like the bad guy in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It's that same guy. And Richard Jennings plays the DA, and his daughter is also like a prosecutor or a DA or something. And she's on the case because she's defending the guy who did the shooting, right? And thanks to Jack, she realizes that one of them is dirty. And of course, Jack Reacher is even implying that her dad could be in on it, because there was something that happened. I forget exactly what it was when he said to her, look, only 3 people knew so-and-so, me, you, and your dad, or something like that. And then it got her to thinking, right? And so she was starting to believe that, yeah, it looks like, you know, her dad might be dirty. But as it turned out, it wasn't the dad, it was the partner. She got on the elevator with him, and he tased her, and took her, was holding her. And Robert Duvall is in the movie, playing a guy that runs a shooting range. And somehow Jack Reacher ends up at the shooting range because he was led there because he knew that this guy had to have practice to be able to shoot these people at, I think, what, 700 yards or something like that. And so he figures out where the shooting range was, because I think they looked at the phone calls the shooter had done, or the fact that he traveled, or something about credit cards or his phone, and they tracked it and to know that he had gone a certain distance in order to practice. And so anyway, he came in contact with Robert Duvall, and Robert Duvall helped him out because he needed some help to rescue this woman who was defending the shooter, because this wicked guy, that's some Russian guy from I don't know where, was holding her. And he was vicious too, because one guy, he was telling the guy what he did to survive, how he, I don't know, chewed off his fingers or did something that was like, you know, no normal person could do under normal circumstances, you know. But he said he did it because he knew he could do anything to survive. And at one scene, he told the guy who had been stalking. He was stalking Jack Reacher. He said, okay. He said for him to eat your thumb. The guy was like, I can't do it, I can't do it. So he got dead, needless to say. Before I forget, I just need to interject this. The reason why I feel like the movie is not being, how should I say, I guess promoted, other than the promotion that's on TV, and probably word of mouth, given by people who have already seen the film, is because of this issue with gun control that's been in the media, mainstream media, and it's just being talked about a lot because of the recent mass killings from the shooting. And because the movie it has lots of guns, and just the fact that a sniper killed 5 people randomly, and I guess they don't want to encourage anybody to do things like that. The movie is a really good movie. Like I said, it has plot, it has subplot. It's a good storyline, and Tom Cruise is great. In spite of what people say about him, I like Tom Cruise. I like his movies. I don't care about his religious beliefs. I don't have nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with me. The movie is worth going to see. It is. Robert Duvall is the guy who ends up helping him when he goes to rescue the woman at the place that's kind of I don't know, a big open space, and Tom Cruise, Jack Reacher, I should say, has to kick some major butt, and he's kicking the butt of this one guy, and it's raining. I mean, it's raining really hard. It's like that Forrest Gump stinging rain. Just inundated with rain. And so he kicks his butt, puts him down, and then there's a whole lot of other guys to deal with because they got the place covered. And so Robert Duvall is stationed somewhere, and he really can't see. And at one point, Tom Cruise says, "What's wrong with your eye?" What he was relying on really was where the shots was coming from, and that's how he was determining in which direction to shoot. And it worked just well enough for Tom Cruise to do what he needed to do, and to get the woman and save the woman, and put an end to that nonsense. That's what he did. So Tom Cruise goes into the place, and in one shot he takes out the bad detective. He takes out the guy who started the whole thing. And the lady said, "Well, what about justice?" He's like, "What about justice?" He's like, "This is the only justice that's going to be done." And it's true, because it had to do with some big land deal. The woman didn't want to sell her business, and they felt like in killing her, the guy who started it all, he felt like in killing her, he would be able to obtain her business and therefore get the land to do whatever it was he wanted to do. So on a scale from 1 to 5, I would give Jack Reacher a 4. I didn't almost fall asleep, because when I go to the movies, I just get so comfortable. I always feel like, okay, just don't fall asleep. And you know what? When I be about to fall asleep, it's not because the movie is not good. I have recently gone to see Skyfall, the latest James Bond movie, which was an excellent movie. I would give that movie 5 stars. That's how much I enjoyed Skyfall. But I was so tired. I think I went to sleep. I fell asleep on 3 important scenes. 3. So, if I fall asleep on a movie, it doesn't mean that the movie's not good. It doesn't, not at all. It just means that I was tired. So Jack Reacher is an excellent movie. Lots of ass kicking, and you know how Tom Cruise is. So if you want to go see a good movie, I know now you know exactly what's gonna happen. But still, to me, that doesn't take away the fun of going to see a movie, knowing what's going to happen, because I just feel like I have to experience the feelings that the movie invokes for myself. You know, if you tell me, oh yeah, that movie was good, and I might go see this and, well, I didn't like it, or you may say, oh, that movie sucks. And I said, well, you know what? He said it's not a good movie, so I'm going to go see it anyway. Then I might like it, you know? So I just feel like knowing that the end of a movie, knowing how it's going to end. And when I want to know about a movie, I always say, the first question I want to have answered is, how did it end? That's all. Just tell me how it ended. And everything else, that's what I'll get. I'll get everything else. There are people who won't go see the Titanic because they know how it ended. Well, of course we know how it ended. If we didn't know how it ended, we wouldn't have a story. We wouldn't have a movie. So, when I want to know what happened in the movie, my first question is, how did it end? Who died? Yeah, I know that's weird, but that's Ruthie the spoiler. What can I say? I think I said it all.